Let's look at some of these videos of the riots continuing from last night.
This is what happens.
Certainly the chaos is back. We had a lull there for a little bit. It was very calm for about an hour and a half. But now we're back at it. As for how these cars were lit on fire, I could not speak to that because we just didn't see it. We were down the block. Oh, look left. It's the other cars just exploded. And then if you look further left, we've got, that's a sheriff tactical vehicle that's right down there. You see it? You see that? So sheriff is trying to move a tactical vehicle in, and we've got teams of law enforcement on bikes that are pushing their way in.
So that was wild. Cars being blown up. They're blown up more than once. I mean, set on fire and then...
Do you guys think that if the cops weren't there, but they were still burning things, how far do you think that would reach? No cops. The cops said, you know what? We're leaving the state.
I'm not sure what people would do if the cops weren't there at all. I don't know if it would escalate as much as it has. I feel like in a sense, when you put the cops there, it's going to make people even more agitated.
Fire.
But, I mean, you kind of need them there, right? I mean...
All I'm saying is, like, to an extent, we can get a message out. But after the message has been out and things we keep overdoing it, it starts hurting ourselves more than actually helping us. So it's like, I get, like, the going into CNN and going in their building and making a ruckus to get, like, a message out. But what I don't get is when you start looting your community, burning down people's cars, anything in the vicinity that's like, I get, like, the emotions behind it. It's like you're riled up. Shit happened. And it's really, like, emotional. But, man, like, the next, like, couple months when you walk around your block, you're going to just see burnt things. And, like, you're going to be like, oh, man, I wish I didn't do that there because now I can't enjoy what I used to do. Which is whatever, I mean, some people think it's a good price to pay and say, fuck it, just to get the message out. So I can't really, like, tell them that they're wrong for doing what they're doing. All I could say is, like, I hope they're aware that with these giant risks we're all taking as a society to go out and do this, that, you got to be ready for the consequences that comes with it. And that's not that's just everybody. Anybody can be like, yeah, I'm just going to go do this, but not then they'll be like, oh, well, I didn't want to do that. Or, they get caught up in certain things and they go to jail and they're like, well, it wasn't really me who was protesting. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, people are quick to switch. Just for no reason, once it becomes personal to them, where they're, like, actually personally affected by this, then they start picking real sides. They're like, oh, well, I never was against police, or I'm never against, not helping out my fellow community. But it's like, what help are we helping really? Like, what are we doing by burning things besides, sending a message? But once the message has been sent, what's next?
I think that the message has been sent, but the point is that people are really trying to drive it home, because just because you put the message out doesn't mean the people you're trying to get it to are taking it in.
Right.
So I think that's why it's being pushed to, like, greater extents. It's not just the silent protest, because people looked at the silent protest before, and it was
Wall Street. I remember that. Did nothing.
But it was just people tearing it apart. They're saying, like, you shouldn't be doing this. You can't do this on certain platforms. You look at Colin Kaepernick. So much people gave him shit about it all. So people are tired of the silent protesting. Yeah. And some people are still doing it, and I think it's great, I think there are some people who are going to hear that and take that as a good thing. But I think also at the same token, it's just trying to drive it home.
Yeah. Burn the place down.
Yeah. I can't say I completely subscribe to that.
Yeah.
But because I think there's some opportunistic people who are just trying to, they already hate themselves or the world, and they're trying to cause chaos anyway. But
get it out, bro. This is the purge.
It really feels like it.
This is the purge, bro. Well, it just is an example of how how as we were explaining, there was our mayor and chief of police who was with the people, trying to be inclusive with them to hear their voice. And that's the whole issue, really, is that communities are feeling that they just are just being unheard. And that's, as you said, is why they get into a state of frustration to where they're out on streets, setting fires to cars, vandalizing, and resorting to looting. It's just a form of how they feel they need to release their stress and show that they are someone with value and someone with a voice. Because that we see this rioting going on over in China. We see it happen in Venezuela with their economy. It's just the people are wanting answers and wanting to be able to weigh in on a solution. So it gets to a point to where when the individuals that are in power that are the ones that are saying that they're going to resolve and create something to fix a problem, just sweep it under the rug. People are just trying to comfort people and say that, oh yeah, we're doing something about it, and no results are being made. It's gonna cause some frustration.